Mr. Kelly. I'm Harvey Dyke, but this is the Quiz Kids program. Mr. Kelly's on vacation this week, and he asked that we kids try to do the program ourselves today. That's what we're going to do, and we'll do the best we can. First, we'll do the regular opening just as Mr. Kelly does it. Quiz Kid Melvin Miles is chief bell ringer. Quiz Kid Lonnie Lundy is at the organ. Quiz Kid Pat McConlon will take Mr. Kelly's place to start with. So hold on to your hats. Here we go. Ring the bell, Melvin.
Hello, everyone. This is your chief quizzer himself, Pat Conlon. And here they are, the Quiz Kids. And here's your first question, Quiz Kids. In a forest, there were 9 rows of elm trees, 9 trees in each row, 9 branches on each tree, 9 twigs on each branch, and 9 acorns on each twig. How many acorns were there altogether? And while you and our listeners are thinking about it, I want to explain that since no one of us could take Joe Kelly's place, we're all going to try it. That's right. We'll take turns asking our own questions, and believe me, everyone has been very careful that no one else has seen his or her questions. But first of all, we have to get rid of roll call. Mark?
I'm Mark Mullen. I'm 10 years old, and I go to the University of Chicago Laboratory School.
All right, Joel?
I'm Joel Kupperman. I'm 14 years old, and I'm a junior at Roosevelt High School.
Melvin?
I'm Melvin Miles. I'm 7 years old, and I go to Norwood Park School, Chicago, Illinois.
And in our charm department, Marlene?
I'm Marlene Richmond. I'm 15 years old and 3A at Roosevelt High School.
Harvey?
I'm Harvey Dyke. I'm 7 years old. I go to Hebrew School in grade 3B.
All right, and our organist, Lonnie?
I'm Lonnie Lundy. I'm 14 years old and will be a sophomore at Maine Township High School in Park Ridge, Illinois.
And I'm Patrick Owen Conlon. I'm 13 years old, and in the fall I'll be a freshman at Calumet High School. And now, back to that first question. In a forest, there were 9 rows of elm trees, 9 trees in each row, 9 branches on each tree, 9 twigs on each branch, and 9 acorns in each twig. How many acorns were there altogether? There's one hand up, and naturally his was first. Joel?
Well, I don't know whether I'm right on this, but I figured out there was 59,139.
No.
Well, wait a second. I got
Oh, you're wrong on that, Joel.
Let's see. It's 9 cubed is 729. And 9 times that is, let's see, 63, 65, 61 times 9 more. That's 540, 584. Oh, wait a second, 580. Wait a second. 9 times.
Well, Joe, I want to tell you that this is sort of a catch
590. Repeat the final question then, please.
Well, I'm afraid we'll have to
Wait a
give
second.
the answer then.
I got a 59,040.
No, I'm afraid you're off the beam, Joel. The answer is none. Acorns don't grow on elm trees. They grow on oak trees. Oh! Well, Joel, it was wonderful figuring, but it was just one of those catch questions we get a lot of times here. All right. Now, I will give you the first names of these famous pairs. You are to identify 2 out of 3 of them by giving me their last names. Now, the first, Elizabeth and Philip. Elizabeth and Philip. Joel?
I think that's Bert and Browning.
No.
Elizabeth.
No.
No, that's right.
Any other hands up on this? Elizabeth and Philip. Well, the answer is Mountbatten, because it's Elizabeth and Philip Mountbatten, and of course, it's Princess Elizabeth of England. All right. How about Mary and Joe? Mary and Joe. Gee, you better get this. That's all I can say. Marlene?
Well, it's supposed to be funny and jokes or something. Joe Palooka?
No, it wasn't Joe Palooka. Mary and Joe. Well, Lonnie has his hand up over at the organ there.
Well, Joe Kelly and
That's
Mary...
right. That's right. Well, you saved the day for us, Lonnie. And Mr. Kelly, I hope you're listening and enjoying the show. And here's the last part of it. Bartlett and Sickle. Bartlett and Sickle. This is kind of a catch question, too. They're just loaded with catch questions here. This is... famous pears, remember? Bartlett and Sickle. All right, Joel?
No, that's pears that they grow on trees.
That's right, the Bartlett pear and the Sickle pear. All right, now each of the songs played by our organist, Lonnie Lundy, has numbers in the titles. You are to add the numbers and sing the first lines of a song which has the same number as the answer in its title. Understand? All right, here's the first one. And the next part. Let's see, the hands are up here. All right, thank you, Lonnie. Well, I think Marlene's hand was up first on that one. Marlene?
Well, I don't know. I think the first one was Oh, What a Beautiful Morning.
No,
and
it
the
isn't.
second one was T for Two.
The second one was T for 2. Now, does anyone know what the first one was? We've got the T for 2. Now, maybe you play a little more of it. Any more hands up? Well, there's the bell. So, I'm going to tell the answer on this one. Okay. All right. It was 3 o'clock in the morning, that first one, and then T for 2. 3 plus 2 is 5, so they could sing what? 5 minutes more, anything like that. All right. Now, here comes Mark down. So, Mark is coming now to take...
I know you're all very interested in the $100 bonds you're going to get to help your future education. So here's your first question. Whose face appears on the $100 savings bond that you will receive today? Marlene?
That's McKinley, isn't it?
No. Joel? Cleveland? Joel?
I was just going to say Grover Cleveland.
Cleveland is right. What is wrong with this story? A man went to church with his wife. He fell asleep during the service and began to dream he was being attacked by robbers. Just as he dreamed, one of the robbers stabbed him. His wife punched him to wake him up. He died instantly, and the doctor said he died of a heart attack brought on by the fact that his dream coincided with his wife's punching him. Joel?
Well, if he was dreaming and asleep, he wouldn't have known that he was dreaming. So the fact that it coincided wouldn't have meant anything to him. The dream itself would have been the reason that he had had the heart attack.
Well, can you think of another answer? I've got another one on my card. Pat?
Well, Mark, did you say he was in church?
Yes. Joel?
Well, I don't see how if a person punches you, it feels like they're going to stab you.
Well, see, he was dreaming, and the robber, just as the robber stabbed him, his wife punched him to wake him up. Well, I have to call that a miss. The doctor could not possibly know what he had been dreaming if he died instantly. What president was the least talkative but the most photographed? Marlene?
Could that be George Washington?
No.
Adams?
No. Pat?
Well, I know Coolidge was the least talkative. I don't know if he's the most
That's right.
All right.
Here's a 3-part nature question. Get 2 out of 3. What is the largest animal that ever lived? Harvey?
The blue whale?
Right. What is the only known mammal that has a poisonous bite? Marlene?
Is a snake a mammal?
No. Harvey?
That's a platypus?
No. I have to count that a miss. It's the shrew. And is Ireland the only country where there are no snakes? The answer is no. New Zealand has none.
All right. There's the bell, and it's Joel's turn to be quizmaster. All right, Joel, start in.
In what era were dinosaurs most plentiful? Mark?
The era of reptiles.
Well, there's a name for the era, or you can at least give the numerical. Harvey?
Cretaceous? Cretaceous? Jurassic?
No. Marlene?
Does it start with an E?
No, it doesn't start with an E, no. There are 5 eras. Maybe that'll give you some help, Harvey.
Caveman era? No.
Mark? Oh, Pat?
Well, I know there was the era of reptiles and the era of fishes.
Well, there are names for them, or you can at least tell which one in order they came.
Jurassic? Cretaceous?
No, there's was it the first, the third, the fourth, or what? Well, okay, Mark?
That was the second.
No, I'm sorry. It was the fourth, the Mesozoic era. That was a miss. And here's the second question. At 3 times in our history, the liberal wing of the Republican Party has broken off and put up a candidate of its own. Name the men and the years in which they ran. Get 2 out of 3. Pat?
Well, I think in 1924, La Follette ran.
No, wait a minute. It wasn't 1924, I think. Yeah, I guess it was.
24, and I know in 1912 that Teddy Roosevelt ran.
Yes. Well, you got 2 out of 3. Can you
Well,
think of
I'll
a
see
third
now.
one? This one wouldn't.
They ran under the name of progressives.
Might not think of this because they were nominally under the Democratic Party in this instance. Marlene?
I'm not sure. It had something to do with Clay and
No. They
Buchanan.
didn't even utter you. All right. The first time was Horace Greeley in 1872. And let's see. We all know the name of our president, but who is the president of France? Pat?
Oh, it's Vincent Auriol, I think.
Okay, and here, our organist, Lonnie Lundy, will help us out with this music question. You kids are to identify the songs he will play and name the opera. Okay. Marlene?
It's Habanera, and that's from Carmen by Bizet.
Didn't get much of a chance, did you? Well, the second. Pat?
Well, that's the Evening Star, and I think it's from Tannhauser.
No. Correct.
Well, all right. There's the bell, and it's Melvin's turn to ask the questions now. Oh, Melvin, don't forget to take that bell with you so you can ring it for yourself.
Well, Quiz Kids, here's your first one. How many stomachs does a giraffe have? Joe?
I think it has the same number as the cow, which is 4, because it chews its food in much the same way.
That's right. Here's our next one, Quiz Kids. What great scientist was called the Peanut King? Joe?
That was George Washington Carver, and he did much research in that field.
Well, Joe, are you sure?
Yeah.
Well, you're really on your ball. Here's your next one. How many black squares on a checkerboard? Joe?
32, because there's 64 squares altogether, and half the number are black.
You're right again. Here's our next one. If you were aloft in a bubble, what kind of transportation would you be using? Joe?
Well, aerial, I guess you'd call it.
No.
Would you please repeat the question?
If you were aloft in a bubble, what kind of transportation would you be using?
Balloon?
No. Marlene?
I was going to say balloon.
Pat?
Wasn't the bubble name for some type of jet plane or airplane?
Well, that could be right, too.
Is that a helicopter?
Yes, you're right. Here's the next one. What is the largest country in South America? Joe?
Brazil.
Right. Well, this looks like a doozer. Let's see. Which president was the youngest when he went into office? Joe?
That was Teddy Roosevelt. I think it was 43.
What was that again?
I think it was Teddy Roosevelt. He was 43.
No. What? What? I guess that's right. Well, here's our next one. A man called a cowboy of the skies would do what kind of work? Joel?
I guess he'd go, I think I've read of these people in these magazines, they go over herds of cattle, and I think they have sort of lassos.
No, Marlene?
Wouldn't it be rodeo work?
No. Pat?
Well, it might be air photography.
Well, no, not that. Do you give up? Oh, Mark?
Ranch work?
What?
Ranch work?
No. Nothing pertaining to cowboys.
What was the question?
A man called a cowboy of the skies would do what kind of work? Do you give up? Mark?
Skywriting?
No. I guess I'll have to call that a miss. A man called a cowboy of the skies is a man who builds steel structures of the skyscrapers.
There's the bell. Now your turn is over, Melvin. And Marlene, you can start right in.
Okay, for the first question, kids. In what opera will you find a woman disguised as a man, and can you give the composer? Joel?
I believe that was Lenore by, it was Fidelio, or, well, it was one or the other, by Beethoven.
That's, Pat, did you have any answer?
No.
It's Fidelio by Beethoven, so we'll call that right. Okay. You are to get 2 out of 3 of these composers. What famous composer was called the father of modern music? Joel?
Would that be George Gershwin?
No, it wouldn't. No other hands up? Well, that's John Sebastian Bach. What famous composer is called America's folk songwriter? Joel?
Stephen Foster.
That's right. What famous composer was called the Wonder Child? Pat?
That was Mozart.
That's right. Okay. And now, kids, let's go back into history for a few questions. Identify these famous people in history. President of the Confederacy. Pat?
That was Jefferson Davis.
That's right. Author of the famous pamphlet, Common Sense. Joel?
Tom Paine.
Thomas Paine. That's correct. The Little Giant. Pat?
Oh, that was Stephen Douglas.
That's right. Okay. Secretary of State Dean Acheson hinted the other day that maybe we should use the atom bomb to make Koreans cease fighting. Do you think we should? Joel?
Definitely not, because it had set a dangerous precedent. So anytime we'd have trouble or disagree with the government, we might drop it. So we shouldn't start things now that we might be able to finish.
You have a good point there. Pat?
Well, I thoroughly agree with Joe. I think it would just cause more trouble, and everybody would be thrown into a panic because of it. And certainly our enemies would not take such a thing laying down. They would.
Harvey, do you have any idea on this question?
No.
No? Melvin?
Well, I think that they ought to just not use the atom bomb until it really needs some use. I think that they should just keep peace.
And what about Mark? Have you got any?
Well, I think they should just not use it for a while until we actually get in hot war. Of course, we're fighting in Korea, but when we actually start fighting a bad war.
That's right. And Joel has his hand up again.
Well, if we say drop it on North Korea, there would be nothing to stop Russia then dropping on South Korea, and then we'd just be in more trouble than we were before.
Well, that's what I would say, too. I definitely don't think we should use the atom bomb.
Well, there's the bell, and it's Harvey's turn to be quizmaster. All right, Harvey.
Why is either the praying, P-R-A-Y-I-N-G mantis, or the praying, P-R-E-Y mantis, a good name for this insect? Mark?
Well, P-R-A-Y-I-N-G-ing, well, P-R-A-Y-ing because the praying mantis looks as though it's praying because its front legs are crossed. They've been in front. And then P-R-E-Y-ing would be because it preys on other animals.
That's right. We quiz kids all enjoy growing up, but what insect is a baby most of its life?
Pat.
Pat. Yeah.
Well, I think that'd be a caterpillar, wouldn't it?
No. Joe?
Well, I'd agree with Pat. It's most moths and butterflies spend the greatest part of their lives in larva stage.
No. Not, Mark?
Moth?
No.
Well, I was going to say an ant. Would that be correct?
No. The periodical cicada, or it's a 17-year locust. The earliest people that scientists know much about lived during the last of the great ice age. They are always in danger of being killed by their animal enemies. Can you name two of the animal enemies? Pat?
Well, I think there was the brontosaurus and, or no, that wasn't. There was the mammoth and the mastodon. I think they were forerunners of the modern elk.
No.
Oh?
Marlene?
Well, would that be a dinosaur?
No.
A gorilla? No.
No. Mark?
Mammoth or saber-toothed tiger?
Well, not the mammoth, but the saber-toothed tigers, right? Joe?
Well, they had various great mammals then, but dinosaurs were extinct before man appeared.
Yes, that's right. Melvin?
Well, could you repeat that question?
The earliest people that scientists know much about lived during the last of the Great Ice Age. They are always in danger of being killed by their animal enemies. Can you name two of the animal enemies? Well, that's a myth. You gave one of the animal enemies, Mark did, the saber-toothed tiger and the giant cave bears, and the woolly boars. Name two animal friends that man had in the Great Ice Age. Joe?
Oh, the dog and the horse.
Well, no. Well, you're right about the horse, but not the dog. Mark?
Well, I was going to say the dog.
Marlene?
I don't know. I was going to say the horse, but could it be a beaver also because it cut down trees? Help.
Oh. Joe?
Well, I suppose at that time they had cattle too, so it could be a horse and a cow.
No. Well, there's the horse, reindeer, and buffalo mammoth. Have you heard these sounds in the woods? What bird might it be? Teacher, teacher, teacher. Mark?
Ovenbird.
Huh?
The ovenbird.
Well, what's another name for it?
Teacher bird.
Right. Now try this one. Coquillicot. Really? Coquillicot? A coquillicot? A victory? Z. Marlene?
Would that be a parrot? He repeats everything you say?
No.
No?
What? No hand? What? No hand? I guess I don't sound much like a bird. See if I do this one any better. Mark?
Well, that could be almost any of the wrens.
That's right. Name 3 parts of a snake that may grow again after he loses them. Mark?
Well, he loses his skin, and that grows even before his second coat of skin grows even before his first coat's gone.
Joel?
Well, on the rattlesnake, I believe the rattles can grow on again if they're cut off.
No. Well, that's a myth. It's skin, teeth, and fangs. To be a true fish, an animal must have a backbone, gills, fins, and never grow arms and legs. Can you tell why the following are not a true fish? Jellyfish. Marlene?
Because it doesn't have a backbone. Or it hasn't got a scale, a backbone, right?
Well,
Yeah.
well, it doesn't. No, well, it hasn't. That's right. Has no backbone. Starfish? Mark?
It doesn't have any backbone either.
No. Yeah, that's right. Now, Joe?
Well, it also has arms.
How about the crayfish now? Joe?
Well, the crayfish is a crustacean, and it has a lime crust for its back. It doesn't have the backbone that the fish has.
Well, there's that old school bell, and that means the end of lessons for today. Lonnie has been keeping score over there at the organ. And while he figures out today's winners, I'll call on Melvin Miles, who wishes to make an announcement about next week's program.
Be sure to listen to Quiz Kids every Sunday over the same network. I hope you listeners liked our Quiz Kid program today. Next Sunday, we will have a special guest quiz kid who is the winner of the local New York City Quiz Kid program, 9-year-old Jonathan Glowgoer. And next Sunday, Mr. Kelly will be back. And we will have a surprise for you from the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. And now I think Lonnie has given Harvey the report cards.
Yes, Quiz Kids. Here are your report cards, Quiz Kids. And remember, whether you win or lose, you'll each receive a $100 savings bond for your future education. As a group, you missed 10 questions, and after taking into consideration your age as well as the number of correct answers you gave, the judge reports that Joel was first, Pat was second, and Marlene third. So you three will be in class next Sunday, together with Frankie Vanderplug, age 6, and 9-year-old Jonathan Glowgower of Brooklyn, New York. So until next Sunday, this is Harvey Dyke dismissing the Quiz Kids. Goodbye, kids.
Bye, Harvey.
And since we know that Mr. Kelly is listening, let's all say goodbye to him, too. 1, 2, 3.
Goodbye, Mr. Kelly.
Quiz Kids is a Louis G. Cowan production. Programs! Get your programs here! Loritz Milkier, or former Metropolitan Opera tenor, will be guest soloist on the summer concert series this evening with Max Reeder, then conducting the NBC Symphony Orchestra in varied selections from the popular and light classics fields.
Let's tell them this is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company, huh, Harvey?
This is NBC.